Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Perez. I hope you're all doing well and your families are healthy. I just thought I might do a little YouTube video for my students or anyone that wants to check in. So School 4, remember we took those seeds out of our apples at lunchtime. Remember we did all that? And I put them in that box. Some of my students planted them in that box. And I kind of left them, it's like a corner of my yard here. See them right down there? See them in that box? So let's go check out and see how they look, okay? Surprise, we had a couple of sprouts there. These are our little apple trees. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 out of all those seeds. We planted a bunch of them in there. There's one coming up there. Oh, and I see a couple more. So it's still early. It's just mid-March, so they'll probably get a little bigger. There's some strawberries that I had that I just kind of put over in the corner here. That was another strawberries, some more strawberries, and then these are tomatoes and peppers, but I don't know. That's just kind of an experiment. They're on this is called a trellis, so that lets viney plants kind of grow up. So there's our apple seeds, and a couple of maybe in the next week or so I'll put those in bigger pots. Oh, here's Balto. Hey Balto. Balto. Hey, say hi. Okay, so we have to have a place to grow those seedlings and vegetables that I'm going to try to grow this year. So today I kind of picked up this thing back here. It's a raised garden planter. Hi everyone. Okay, so here I am at the local garden center. Just pulled up. I did a little bit of research online for what I might be planting in my raised garden bed. It's 6 feet by 2.5 feet, so that's 15 feet, square feet. And if I times that by, I think it's about 2 feet deep, maybe not quite. That'd be 30 square feet of soil. I'm going to try to see what's best, probably an organic soil. Thinking some carrots, some onions, some peppers maybe, I don't know. I'm going to go in, take a look. It's part of the process as we know, right? The ask, imagine, plan before you create it. So before we get started on our garden, we're going to plan it out first, okay? All right, so let's see what we find out as far as the ask process goes. Okay, so we're back at the house. As you can see, we bought some organic soil for our raised garden bed. We're going to have to get some help for that, carrying that back to the backyard. We bought some other things, some seeds, so we're going to give that a try. That should be interesting. Some of the seeds go in earlier than others. We have to wait for some of them that need a little bit more warm soil. So, onward we go. Okay, it's a pretty nice day out today, so I thought it was a good idea to get out here and build this raised garden that I purchased last week. So that's our plan for today. And just getting out and getting some fresh air and enjoying the nice weather. Okay, so I've unpackaged and organized my materials. This package pretty nice. Bigger pieces are on the grass there. We have the pieces are all marked with numbers. I put them all together. I organized my materials to make my life easy when I'm following the directions. Here are the directions. It tells you, hopefully you can see that, it tells you the tools that you need. Screw gun, with a Phillips head bit, adjustable wrench, and a hammer, and that you might need someone to help you with it. Okay, so we'll figure that out. This is what a Phillips head looks like. It's not flat. It's like a little star shape. A star shape on the top. So that's a Phillips head. And here's my hardware. Here are my nuts and bolts and screws of the project. Okay, so I'm about to finish the first page of instructions or directions. It's a little tricky. This, you have to be careful and look at the picture carefully to make sure the holes that are supposed to be facing a certain way are facing a certain way. So I had to kind of go back and redo that. Also, my drill, which I'm using as a power screwdriver, isn't really working very well for me. There's not a lot of control, so I'm using this. I love this thing. It's a ratchet. Oh, there goes my page. A ratchet screwdriver, and it just works on torque. So I'm going to screw the last one in with this, and you don't have to be that strong. It kind of does the work for you. One thing I think I would have done to improve the design of this already is it's a little wobbly. I think I would have added some wood glue to it, but maybe when it's completely assembled, you have the first part there, the three legs. Maybe when it's all assembled, it will be a little sturdier. Okay, there she is. She's all done. I think she turned out pretty good. Looks like the picture. Pretty sturdy. So I was wrong about the glue, which was a good thing since I had to take her apart a couple times and put her back together the right way. The directions could have been a little bit more clear. Maybe some close-ups of some of the parts that we were putting together, but other than that, I think it was pretty easy to put together. And you just have to take your time. If you go down the wrong road and you see that you need to take it apart and redo it, then you just take a breath and take it apart and redo it and get it right. Okay, now we're on to the fun part, the planting of our garden. Okay, now that we've built our raised garden planter, it's time for the fun part. We picked up a couple of things at the local nursery, garden nursery. Some seeds, a nice, the old Farmer's Almanac, make this look legit, and some bumper crop organic plant food that we will mix in with our soil per the directions once we're ready to plant our garden. Okay, so we've asked a lot of questions and we've gotten a lot of information about how to go about planting a garden. Now we're imagining the different ways we can plant the garden. We do know the size of our garden. Our garden is 2.5 feet by almost 6 feet, and I do have some seed packets that I purchased from the garden center. Things that I was interested in planting in our garden. Now, each of these packets, and you can't see it very well, but each of them have information on the back on when to plant and zones to plant it in. And it's hard to see, but we're in the green zone. We're in the green zone. Half of New Jersey's in the purple zone, but I think it's safe to just go by what the green zone says as far as when to plant and how to go about that and what to do. So that's on the back of all these seed packets. The experience that I've had from last year with the peppers and the tomatoes is that they require a trellis, and so do the cucumbers. So that's a little tricky. That's that metal support that viney plants like to grow on. So I feel like I'm going to probably take these seeds back and purchase starter tomato plants and pepper plants when they come out, okay? So I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit and not grow those from seeds. The wildflowers, which I thought would maybe bloom this year and I could cut, actually they're perennial, meaning they come up every year, and they would not make flowers, grow flowers until next year. Okay, so I'm going to take those back too because I kind of want flowers now. So I'm going to stick with the lettuce. It's really the same mixture. The sweet lettuce, like a spring mix. The bunching onions, which start out like chives, and then they will grow into onions that you can cut up depending on how long you want to wait. And the carrots. And then later on I will purchase tomato plants and pepper plants, maybe cucumber plants if they have them, that are started already. I also have those strawberries that we saw near our little apple tree buds. So I'm going to plant those strawberries in my box garden. Okay, so I know the size of my box garden. My box garden is 6 feet, almost 6 feet, by 2.5 feet. So I'm going to say 6 by 2. And I'm using graph paper here. This is 2 feet by 6 feet. And I'm going to plan it out. 2 feet by 6 feet. Now the seed packets give you instructions for planting seeds in a square foot. So that's 1 square. So it'll tell you exactly how many plants to plan on planting in each one of these squares across. Okay, so I think I'm going to do lettuce on the ends because they kind of turn over. Like you harvest the lettuce and then you pick the lettuce and then you can grow more lettuce plants later on. So I want to keep those on the ends. And even though I think this might be the same mixture, I'm not quite sure if they're a little different. So I'm just going to keep them apart on the ends, and I'll mark them with some fancy sticks or something like that. I think I'm going to put a tomato plant here on a trellis so it'll kind of stick up, and my peppers here, peppers over here, kind of make it look nice. So that'll stick up. And then I'm going to put my strawberry plants back here. And then in here, I'm going to do carrots. And these 2 carrots. And I'm going to do the onions here. Onions and onions. Okay. It's a little bit of a mess, but I know what it is. I know what it means. Okay. Okay, so I found this resource online. It's Gardener Supply Company offers this tool to help you design your garden, and they have pre-planned designs that you can take a look at. This one was kind of cool. It was a fun for kids. So that one's already planned out for you, and it shows you where to plant things and tells you about the different fruits and vegetables that you're planting and when to plant them and so forth. So that was kind of cool. Or you can design your own. So if I design my own, my width is 2 feet and my length is about 6 feet. So it gives you that grid that I drew. And then you can just kind of pick. There's those strawberries. Oops. There's carrots. Carrots. You can kind of pick what you want to plant and where you want to plant it. I'll just say there's scallions. Okay, so that's basically my garden there. Okay, that pretty much does it for planning out our garden. Make sure you join me in a week or so when we plant that first cold crop. The lettuce is going to go in and probably those strawberries. All right? Okay. Take care. See you later.